Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sure. So last time I talked about Microsoft Azure 900, like what is this exam, what is it all about, and I give you a basic overview. Is there
Yeah.
any question in that?
No, it's just basic certification and what are the things there, so we can proceed.
Right. And if you remember, I talked about course syllabus, correct?
Regarding what?
Regarding the course syllabus.
Yeah.
So if I show you again, this is our course syllabus. I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So this is our course syllabus. It has three main modules. Okay.
Hmm. Okay.
Or you can say three units. In first unit, there are three modules. In second unit, there are four modules. And in third unit, there are four modules. Okay. Hopefully, everything should be gonna covered soon. It should not take much time, but again, depend upon our like speed, upon our grasping power, upon our classes. So it is not a very big course, to be honest. But yeah, we need to cover all of those things. So if you see the same course syllabus, you can download from the website as well. But if you see, this is the first one, okay? And the first one is talking about cloud concepts, right?
Yeah.
So in the cloud concept, you can see this is the first unit. The very first topic is described cloud computing. And in this cloud computing, we need to talk about like very first thing is what is Azure fundamental. Okay. So if we talk about Azure fundamental, what is Microsoft Azure fundamental? Or let me maybe just come over here. Okay. So we are talking about the very first unit, which is cloud concepts. And in this cloud concepts, just give me a minute. Netminion.net. Okay, in this cloud concept, very first objective is what is Azure fundamentals. And Azure fundamental is very basic course or certification named with AZ900. I already talked about. Okay, which talks on the cloud computing platform with your ever expanding set of services. Okay, so Azure service support everything. If you talk about simple to complex, it supports you. It has a simple web service for hosting for your business presence in the cloud. It also support the fully, virtualized computers or the custom software systems or the solutions. Azure provide a wealth of cloud-based services like remote storage, data hosting, centralized account management, and maybe IoT, maybe artificial intelligence, a lot of things. So when I am talking about Azure fundamentals over here, you need to understand that we are talking about some kind of, learning path, which is familiarizing you with Azure, okay, and its service and its features. So if you are interested in compute, okay, if you are interested in networking, if you are interested in maybe storage, the basic, I am talking about with respect to the Azure, with respect to the Azure. So if you wanted to learning maybe some fundamentals of these services, then it will be gonna come into your Azure fundamental. And not only theory, as I described in the previous class, demo class, that not only theory, but we will be conducting couple of the exercises also. But yes, these exercises are will give you an interactive exercise that will hands-on experience with Azure. Okay, and maybe you need to use some Azure portal over the same. There is something named as Sandbox also. I need to check if Sandbox is still working. If it is working, probably we will explore the Sandbox as well. Now, with respect to the certification, if I talk about this part, cloud concepts, will cover 25 to 30%, or maybe let me take a screenshot. Okay, just okay, like that. If I talk about with respect to the certification, this Azure certification, then okay, good to go. Now, this part, the very first part, will cover from 25 to 30% of the examination questions. If you see the second part, which has 4 modules, it will cover the maximum questions which are from 35 to 40%. And the last one for sure will cover 30 to maybe 35%, I can say. Okay. So this is how your marking will be done. So from this module, you will be having 25 to 30 questions and likewise. So I hope you are able to understand what is the outline of the syllabus and what is the outline of the certification. Okay. Now let's come up with the very first thing. I already talked about Azure fundamentals. What is cloud computing? Or introduction to cloud computing, or maybe what is cloud computing, the same topic. Okay. So do you have any knowledge about the cloud computing?
No, I don't have any knowledge. Zero knowledge.
It's all right. We need to start it from the scratch. So if I talk about cloud computing, it means delivery of computing service over the internet. Okay. So maybe I am using some compute resource. What is compute? Probably I will be, let me discuss. Computing service means you should have some IT infra. Okay. Like you can have virtual machine, you can have storage, you can have network, you can have database, you can have security. Because if you wanted to publish something like over the business, then you require all of these, components, right? So this is something named as compute. And compute over the cloud means cloud computing. Okay. So cloud service is not only about the expanding your traditional IT offering, but uh, there is something named as IoT. If you are not aware, that's all right. I will be gonna give you some demo also for the IoT later on. Okay. So not only these services, but IoT, if you talk about machine learning, if you talk about artificial intelligence, even these kind of services can also be, leveraged over the Microsoft Azure. I am not only talking about Azure, these kind of stuff maybe for any of the cloud service provider. It can be Azure, it can be AWS, it can be GCP, Google Cloud, okay, or blah blah blah, Oracle or whatever you say. Now, cloud computing use the internet to deliver these services. It means it does not have any constraint by the physical infrastructure. Let us suppose if you need to publish a business, and you need to publish on one of the location, maybe in Kerala. Then you want to expand it in the Delhi, and it is as such that you need to give some kind of services to your clients. So the same setup you are doing in Kerala, then the same setup you need to do in Delhi. Maybe these two services are running very good. Now you are thinking that okay, let me open some three more services in Mumbai, okay, in UP or in maybe Haryana, anywhere. Okay. And because of maybe some reasons, they cannot be run so well how your first two were running. Then you need to shut down these services, right? It means your physical infrastructure is earlier is in your data center. But if you need to increase your IT infrastructure very rapidly, you don't have to wait for the build a new data center for sure. You can use the cloud to rapidly expand your IT footprint. Okay. So I hope you are aware about compute now. So compute is nothing, the brain of the cloud, you can say. Compute is the processing power. And when we are saying we are taking cloud computing, it means we are renting we are renting the processing power from the cloud. It can be maybe Microsoft Azure, it can be anything. Okay. So if I will give you an analogy, you can think like you are renting a powerful computer which has a very good CPU, very good RAM, storage, database, whatever, and it can calculate, process, or run a code with a very high speed. Maybe you can put a website over there, maybe you can have a gaming website over there, maybe some kind of data analysis, whatever can be the use case. So such kind of thing you are renting over the cloud. This is compute, and because it is on cloud, it's named as uh, compute uh, uh, cloud computing. Okay, is it fine?
Okay, I understand as cloud compute means using the services in the from the
Cloud.
Azure or cloud.
Yeah.
In short, in this way, right? The services like network devices or storage or those things we are
Let me
using
give you
it
an
from the
example.
cloud.
Let me give you an example. Let us say you are having a virtual machine, VM. Use
Okay.
case like you want to have your older software and you need to now put on the cloud. So you are spinning up a virtual machine over the cloud, and here CPU does not have any constraint. You can take any of the operating system, you can install all of the software, whatever. Okay. There is something named as Azure App Service where you can host a app very, very efficiently. So on the cloud, as you are mentioning, you are right that storage is not an issue, CPU is not an issue, RAM is not an issue, networking is already there. You need not to put your routers or load balancers or maybe firewall services. Okay, nothing. Everything is there. You for sure you need to pay, but it is there and ready to use. Okay, so to cut the long story short, if you need to make your data center up, sometime it takes very good time, years, 1 year or maybe more than 1 year or maybe 6 to 8 months minimum. Okay, even if you are renting the data center premises from somewhere, racks, power unit, cooling services, lot of things are there, links. Okay, then which boxes for the networking, what you want to choose for the security, which firewall, maybe there are lot of things. Okay, when you need to bring up your own data center, but if you want to extend your footprint and you are using the cloud, you have everything ready over there. Any question now?
Should be okay. As I understand, as in short, like we are using the cloud services in a ready way. So as soon as we want, we don't need to wait for a long time. We can just in a shorter time, we can use all the resources as it is available,
True,
right?
you are right.
Uh,
And here I need to talk about something. When you have such like of thing, then there is share responsibility. Okay. And in Azure, it is named as share responsibility model. Okay. What does it mean? It means that when you have such things like you are using cloud infrastructure now, right? And you are bringing up your infrastructure over the cloud. So it means that Azure have their data centers somewhere. Okay. We don't know where, but they have their own data center. They have their own racks. They have their all units of maybe power supply, cooling units, anything you can think about your physical data center. Similarly, they are also having maybe one internet, two internet, very high speed internet or whatever. They have everything, right? Now, what you are doing, you are leveraging those services and you are putting your resource. Let us say you are just renting this much, okay, or maybe less than that. So there is something named as shared responsibility model, which is a framework in the cloud computing that divides security and operational responsibility between any cloud service provider and between the customers. Okay, so there is a different like responsibilities. Start with the traditional corporate data center. Let us say you are opening your own data center. You are not taking anything from the cloud. So if you are having your own data center, you are responsible for the data center premises security. You are responsible for the racks. You are responsible for the power. You are responsible for the cooling. You are responsible for maybe the boxes. Then on the boxes, if there is some security patch need to be done, you are responsible. Okay. If this device is out of maybe end of sale or end of support, you need to have another device. Okay. You need to think about the same. If link is congested, you need to monitor it. You need to make it change. Everything you need to do. So the company is responsible for maintaining the physical space, ensuring security, maintaining, replacing the server if anything happens. And IT department is responsible for maintaining all the infrastructure software need to be keep on data center up and running. So responsibility lies with whom? Purely with user. With the shared responsibility model, these responsibility get shared between the cloud service provider and the consumer. So, physical security, power, cooling, network connectivity are the responsibility of the clouder now. Let me write down so that you can able to understand. So, if you talk about physical security, okay. If we talk about physical security, if we talk about power, if we talk about cooling, if we talk about network connectivity, this thing, if you are taking cloud infrastructure, then for sure it is going into the bin of the cloud service provider. Okay, CSP. The consumer isn't co-located with the data center, and it doesn't make any sense that consumer will share this responsibility. But at the same time, consumer is responsible for the data and the information what they are storing in the cloud. Okay, because this thing you cannot rely on the cloud service provider that they read your data and they secure your data. No, no, no. It has to be done by yourself. Okay, or as a consumer. So depending upon the situation to situation, this responsibility keep on changing. But this is how your shared responsibility model come into the picture. And if you remember, I was taking some terms. Okay, I was taking the name of some terms, which was IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. Okay. Now, this shared responsibility model is again divided into these three stuff, which we will be covering on later on. But if I talk about in IaaS, your major like responsibility is with consumer, and here the major will be with cloud. And in between these two, there is a PaaS, which is platform as a service. This is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So this is in between middle of these two. Okay, which I will be explaining about this stuff. Don't worry. So this stuff is bit like uh, the shared responsibility. And what happened is when you are building up any stuff, like there is a physical host, right? Physical host. There is maybe network. There is maybe physical data center and the security of the data center. This stuff will be always maintained by cloud service provider in all of these three models.
Can you just
But
repeat the three platform names? What is it?
so this is physical host, this is your physical network, this is data center, physical data center. So all those things will be with whom? Will be cloud service provider, CSP.
Oh, okay.
Okay, don't worry, I will be sharing a picture with you on the same.
Okay.
Okay, there is a picture, I will be sharing that with you.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Then if we will go further, if you talk about I wanted to use AD services, let us say I wanted to use some kind of network control system where I need to define which people should be able to access my service or which should not be. Maybe operating system I need to tell by myself. Okay. Maybe applications are some kind of custom applications and I need to put these application by my own. Okay. In case of IaaS, this is the consumer responsibility because he is the one who is taking care of everything. Okay. In case of SaaS, this stuff is with whom? With cloud. In case of PaaS, this stuff, maybe half of the stuff like AD is with cloud. Rest of the thing maybe with consumer. So it depends like what kind of services you want to host. And SaaS is something which is purely a cloud stuff, bit like your Google Drive. Okay, you are not, you don't aware like where it is. Google Drive is the best option. Okay, but I will be gonna talk about these things in detail after some time. First, let me go with some of the basic, stuff. Okay, very
One
simple.
second. Before that, the one that you mentioned, right? IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So these are something like a deployment methods which the consumer us need to decide it.
So you can say these are the shared responsibility models,
Hmm.
further
Yeah, yeah.
segment. Okay,
Oh, okay.
and
So this will
how
be
how we
planned
can
by
how
us,
we
or
can select how we can select that you will be able to clear this point in next section because we have separate class or
okay,
topic for this thing.
okay, okay.
Okay, currently I'm just giving you an overview about this. I'm just taking the names, but I will be gonna talk about all of them. Okay.
Okay.
Now, in this chapter, if you see further, this is a share modeling and all of these things we have discussed. Okay. Then if you see, there is something named as cloud models and then consumption based models. Okay. Let's talk about cloud models. Now, what are the cloud model? It means deployment type of cloud resource. In cloud model, you can have one of three types. It can be a private cloud. It can be a public cloud. It can be a hybrid cloud. Okay, these are the three models. Maybe you can say cloud deployment model can be categorized into the three parts depending upon who own the infrastructure and who can access it. Okay, when we are talking about private cloud, it means you are owning your own data center. Like Netminion has their own data center. If you wanted to go with the lab of the Netminion, then for sure you are going into the Netminion private cloud. And this cloud is purely maintained by Netminion. Like they have their own servers, they have their own links. They are not buying it from somewhere, although the links can be bought from some of the service providers, servers maybe from different vendors, but they are not giving this service to somebody else. Okay, so a private cloud means corporate data center. Is this point clear?
Okay. That is not like public, something like Google or Microsoft. It's not been applicable to all. It is only to
I'm
the.
just going to the public and hybrid, but
No,
first
I
I
mean, I'm in the same way like a private is something like only to a restricted people or only to the organization, something like that.
right, right. Maybe let
Uh,
us say you are working for an organization named with ABC. Only
mhm.
ABC is able to do any kind of changes over there. And ABC is maintaining whole soul everything from the network, from the security, from the power, cooling, whatever you take name, ABC is doing everything. Even they have their own custom applications and people are leveraging those applications. So private cloud is hosted on the on-site data center. They can go there, they can take the console access. Okay. Dedicated data center offsite, potentially even by third party, you can buy that renting space. But yes, when your organization is running its own data center with virtualization within it and the self-service capabilities, it means it is a private cloud. When we are talking about hybrid cloud, sorry, public cloud, Public cloud is something like you are, just give me a minute. Okay, I'm back. So there was some message. So when I am talking about public cloud means it is controlled and maintained by a third party cloud provider. Okay. Again, it can be your Google, uh, it can be your Azure by Microsoft, it can be your Amazon. So it can be anything. So that is your public cloud, which means you are using somebody else premises to host your services. Okay.
Okay.
Now, last one is the hybrid. Hybrid means which is mostly used, which means if I have a company named as XYZ, what I will do, I will keep my own data center also, which is a private cloud, and I will use some maybe cloud service provider. It can be Google, it can be Azure, it can be Amazon, whatever. Okay. So hybrid cloud is computing environment that use both private and public interconnected environments. Okay. So it can be maybe because of increased or temporary demand of the deploying resources. It can be because you want to add a extra layer of security. So flexibly, you can choose which service you need to keep into the public cloud, which services you are need to deploy on the private cloud. And any organization is using a private cloud for the sensitive data and scaling to a public cloud for the bursting overload. Getting my point?
Yes, is it for inside intra, right? So DC, that will be used for which one you said? Like for purpose you mentioned, right? For two reasons you mentioned, I missed those words.
Can you repeat which words?
Uh, for the last, right? For the hybrid,
For the
you said
hybrid,
for
okay.
DC
For
and
the hybrid,
hmm,
for the hybrid, let us say if you are having any some sensitive data, then you can use
sensitive.
your
Okay.
private cloud.
Okay.
Okay? But if it is somewhere maybe bursty traffic or maybe some very high workloads, okay, then
Hmm.
you can use some cloud service provider, CSPs.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
Are you getting my point?
Okay.
So
So, is
if
there
you
any use purpose or something? Is there any organization that is usually using like this,
yes, yes, there
like
is.
hybrid?
If you talk about public, in public,
Hmm.
there is no capital expenditure to scale up something, right?
That means,
Which means if you are in the location one and you wanted to go for in the location two or in the location three, you are only paying for the amount what services you are having. But if you are using private, you need to build up your whole data center.
uh,
Okay. Now,
okay.
if let's see about the private uh, benefit now. Private means you have complete control over your own resources, your security. Data is not collocated with any other organization. Hardware you are purchasing, nobody else need to purchase on your behalf. But in case of public, if hardware is end of support or end of life, then who will be doing that? Azure will be, or maybe any cloud service provider will be replacing that. But in case of private, whose responsibility is this? This is customer responsibility. Okay, security responsibility lies with customer. So software upgrades, customers.
The customer you are referring is the uh,
Companies, corporates, whatever.
oh, okay. So they are the one who need to, even if it is implemented in the cloud, that should be taken care by them or should be taken care by us
It
for
depends
vulnerability
which
patching,
which which
like vulnerability
which
patch or
model,
something.
yeah, which model you are taking. If you talk about underlying hardware, it is. Again, cloud responsibility. As I talked before some time, there is a shared responsibility model.
Hmm.
Okay. So it depends what kind of service you are talking about. If you are talking about the end servers, let us say it is a Dell server whose end of life is 2025. Now it has to be replaced. So who will
Hmm.
doing that? Cloud service provider will be doing that. You need not to bother about it. The software
Oh.
version, the
Hmm.
it should be upgraded. Okay. Who will be doing that? Cloud service provider is doing that. But on the top, whatever you are running, that is your own baby. You cannot give it to the cloud. You cannot say to the cloud that, okay, why my application is vulnerable to the such and such risk. No,
Okay, okay.
it's your application. You need to do
Okay,
that.
so okay, so in short, I understand as something that like hardware or like a product managed in a
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
physical way, like a for
yeah.
example, Palo Alto, FortiGate, Cisco, the hardware level, whichever is managing or vulnerable, which need to be end of life. Those things will be taken care by the CSP.
PSP.
And if
Hmm.
the device in specific firmware version or if related to hardening or those
Hmm.
things based on the organization requirements that need to be taken care by the consumer itself.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Okay. Now, not only these three, I talked about
Mm.
these three models. Now, let me talk about some more because trend is going with more. There is one more stuff which people are using a lot nowadays, and that is named as multi-cloud. So, this is a fourth or increasingly likely scenario, which is named as multi-cloud scenario. Here, you are not using maybe a specific cloud. You are not restricted to that. You are using maybe more than that. Are you getting my point? GCP or whatever. So you are using one service over here. You are using another service over here. You are using third service over here, maybe. Okay. So when you are dealing with multiple cloud service providers and managing your resource and security in all of them, it is named as multi-cloud. There can be n number of use case for the same. If there is not, that is fine. You can stick with one cloud service provider also. But yeah, let us suppose you are working with a company named as ABC. ABC is acquiring XYZ. XYZ is on the AWS. ABC is a die-hard fan of Azure. Now, when you are acquiring that, it means you need to, interact with all the resources, and their resources is on AWS. So now you should have somebody who is taking care for the AWS and Azure both. Are you getting my point?
Okay.
Not only this, there can be multiple use cases, but I just described about one of them.
Okay.
Then there is a solution named as Azure Arc, which is a set of technology that help to manage your cloud environments. Okay, Azure Arc, which help you to manage your cloud environment. Either it is a public solely on Azure, or maybe it's on a private, or maybe in a hybrid configuration. Some kind of services they are selling. Okay, different product. Like for the
Okay.
VMware solution, they have a Azure VMware solution. Okay,
Okay.
different
What is the
solution.
purpose of this Azure Arc?
Azure Arc, as I told you, this is a set of technology that help to manage your cloud environment, not only on the Azure, but on the private cloud in data center. So they are just giving some kind of services. But again, it's not required to be, understanding about these kind of services because these are the add-on products maybe you can talk.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So if I see the last one is the consumption-based model. Okay. So if we talk about the consumption-based model, it means we are talking about consumption-based. So we are talking about pricing or the business strategy where a consumer is getting charged for any product or any service based on their usage or based upon their consumption. Okay. Now, when we are talking about pricing, then there are two things which will come into the picture always. One is named as capex, one is named as OPEX. Not limited, these terms are not limited to the cloud, but in day-to-day term also, you are aware that there is a capital expenditure and there is a operational expenditure. In any organization, it happens, right? CapEx means one time, okay? When you are doing only one time uh, upfront expenditure to purchase something, or maybe owning a new building, a parking area, maybe buying a data center, maybe buying a company vehicles. These are all capex. Okay. On the other hand, OPEX is spending money on some service or on some products over the time. Okay, like your operational team or the salary of the employees is the OPEX, right? Or maybe you are leasing a company vehicle, or maybe you are renting a space. Okay, similarly, cloud services is is coming over here.
Okay, in short, we can consider as capital expenditure is like a one-time payment, and this is like a regular payment. OPEX means
Right, right.
okay.
So cloud services is falling under whom? In the
OPEX.
OPEX. So consumption-based model, I hope it is clear with you that with cloud computing, you need not to pay for the physical infrastructure. You need not to pay for the electricity. You need not to pay for the security or maybe anything associated with the maintaining of data center. Instead, you are paying only for the IT resources what you are using in your organization. Okay. So this model has some benefits, like you don't have any upfront cost. You need not to purchase and manage costly infrastructure. The ability to pay more resources will come when you will use more resources. If your organization is not using more resources, you can stop paying for those resources. Are you getting my point? But this is not the case with the traditional data center. Let us say you are owning a company and you overestimate that my this year my consumers will increase, and you put some resources into your data center, then it can be a potentially a waste of money. On the other hand, you underestimate, okay, that no, my users will be only 10,000 but it is 1 lakh. So your old server will quickly reach the capacity. Your application and services may be degraded, decrease the performance. So such kind of thing to fix under the same data center will take a really long time. Okay. You may need to order something, then you will receive something, then you will install something. You also need a more power, cooling, networking, extra hardware. But in case of cloud-based model, you need not to worry about these things. If you think so that you need more services or maybe let us say virtual machines, you can add it. And if the demand is dropping, you need not to worry. You can remove those virtual machines as per your like demand. So either way, if you are paying more, if even that is good, that is bad if you are maybe having more services in your data center, in your own data center. If you are having less services or less resources, even that is also bad. But in case of cloud, okay, in case of cloud, I have the very huge power, okay, and I want small of that, that is fine, I can buy. If my resources are increasing, I need some more power, I can buy again. Now, over the time, I don't want it, I can remove that. I will pay only for the one. Are you getting my point? So, cloud computing is the delivery of your computing services over the internet, and it depend upon pay as you go. Okay, pay as you go pricing model. So the pricing model is pay as you go, which means that plan and manage your operating cost, run your infrastructure more efficiently, scale. if your business need to change. Okay. So cloud computing, as I told you, is renting the compute power storage from somebody else data center, right? So you can treat these cloud resources like your own data center, but you are just renting it more and you are giving them back if not needed. So that all stuff will be keep on going. Any question?
Should be okay.
Okay. So this is your first module, which is completed. If you have any question,
Mm.
feel free to ask. Otherwise, let me give you some questions.
Can you show the shared responsibility model? Okay.
I will share with you. Don't worry. Let me share it right away. Uh, just give me a minute. Let me- I will be gonna talk about it, tomorrow. But
Okay, okay. No, I asked the
no,
diagram you mentioned, right?
I'm
The,
I'm showing that diagram only. Don't worry.
uh,
Okay. I'm talking about that diagram only. This is the diagram. I will be gonna give you all of these links. Don't worry, okay? Don't think so that let me copy it or let me take a screenshot. I will give all of those things. Don't worry. But you need
okay,
to
okay.
understand first. Okay. So this is your model, what I was explaining. And if you see in this
Okay.
model, there is SaaS, which is software as a service, platform as a service, and
Infra as a
infrastructure as
service.
a service. And this is your own premises, maybe you can say private. Okay, private cloud. So if you see, there is some responsibilities which is for cloud provider. And if you see, this is with whom? Microsoft. So here, if you are using any of the three, then these all responsibilities with cloud. Cloud has to maintain their host, has to maintain their network, has to maintain their data center. Is this point clear? But if it is a private, which means you are owning your own data center, then for sure, every stuff you need to maintain by your own. Okay. So let's not talk about this one, fourth one. Just focus on these three. Are you able to see that?
Yeah.
Then there are some more about which probably I will be going to talk about soon because there is a topic with respect to this.
Okay.
Okay. Now I need to ask some question from you, and uh, that questions. Everything what I am teaching is from here. Okay.
Okay.
That question is this. What is cloud computing? You need to give me the answer. It's not a interview, but just to be on same page.
It should be the first. What is cloud computing? It's delivery of computing services over the internet.
Okay. Which cloud model?
Uses some data centers focused on providing cloud services to anyone that wants them. That wants them, and some data centers that focus on single hybrid.
Good one. Third one.
According to the shared responsibility model, which cloud service type plays the most responsibility on the customer? Customer is as infrastructure
Very
as a
good.
service.
If I will submit this, can you see?
Mm,
This
oh,
is how like we will be proceeding. Okay. And as I told you, this is a public link. Okay. Anybody can surf it. It's not required that you should have some proper credential or something like that. No, no. You can access it over the internet. Okay. And the first module, what I showed, okay, that
mm.
is already complete. If you have any question, feel free to ask. Otherwise, we can jump on another if you say so. If not, maybe we can talk about tomorrow. But
So far,
we have
for me, no issues. For
yeah.
me, everything is okay for now.
Okay. Then let's go for the second one, okay, which
Okay.
is describe the benefit of using cloud services. So let me go there and let me talk about the second unit, okay, in the same this is second, not unit, second module, okay. Describe the benefit of using cloud services. Let me go. So whenever you are running a service, let us say this is your application, okay, and in this application to access there are some users, and these users can be of course around the world. They can be from APAC region, they can be from EU region, they can be from maybe US region or any region, Middle East or whatever you say. Now, whenever these people are coming to access your application, there are two major points what you need to think about. One is your application should be always up, which means uptime, right? Then your if I talk about maybe the users are increasing, then you need to scale it very much so that latency should be less. Are you getting my point? And those kind of things you need to be in the scaling. There are a lot of things which come into the picture. Here come up with very crucial things, which is named as high availability. Okay, all these topics, as I told you, I am covering from the Microsoft documentations. You can go and check from there as well. So high availability means when you are deploying an application or any service or any IT resource I will talk about, and you have more than one or you are replicating the data so that if one of the maybe my server is getting down, then it can go on to the another, which means your account is now giving the services. And that is how Azure is coming up with some things to give some guarantee uptime. And this is named as SL, which is service level agreement. Any question?
Can you just repeat the last thing that you said before the SLA you mentioned, right?
Yeah. So what I was telling that Azure is guaranteeing their services. They are talking about that availability of the service. Okay. Like this will be the availability of the services. If you are hosting something into the Azure, this is the Azure cloud. You are hosting some services over there, right? Now these services should be up and running. For the same, Azure will give some SLAs. This SLA can be 99%. This SLA can be 99.9%. This SLA can be 99.95%. This SLA can be 99.99%. Bit like that. Okay. So SLA percentage means how maximum amount of allowed downtime a service can experience over a period of time. It can be a month, it can be a year. And if it is more than that, it will be treated as a breach in the agreement. And then consumer may claim for the commercial or whatever. Are you getting my point?
Okay. So which means if the overall uptime is less than
Hmm.
what is being provided by the cloud,
Hmm.
then the consumer can ask for the reason for it for them.
Hmm. 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 Right. For the
Okay.
same,
Mm,
either you should not be, for the examination, you need not to aware about it, but just for the basic understanding, you should be. The allowed downtime, if you need to uh, fetch out or you need to, bring it out, then it will be whatever your total time is. I will give some example, don't worry. Multiply by 1 minus whatever your SLA percentage, the percentage which I was showing you earlier. Okay. Now, if it is in year, then you will multiply 365 days, 24 hours, then 60 minutes, okay, or for converting it to the hours. And if you will just maybe, multiply all of those things, the total minutes will be 5 to 5, 600 minutes. Okay, I am just talking about the total minutes in an year. Now, total minutes in 1 year, because we required this statistics. That is the reason I am talking about. In 1 month, if I will convert it, it will be 30 days, 24 hours, and for sure 60 minutes, which will be 43 200 minutes. So this is total time, total minutes. Now let us say I am taking an agreement from Microsoft where I am taking an SLA of 99%. If I will say 100 minus 99, it will be 1%. Okay. Now, the very simple mathematics is yearly. If you say yearly, what can be my maximum downtime? Okay, maximum downtime. So it will be, what is the total time? 525,600. In minutes, I am talking. Multiply by 1%, which is 1 by 100. Right? It will be how much? 5256 minutes, which is how much? 87.6 hours. This much downtime can be there with 99% SLA. Are you understanding the calculation?
Yeah.
If I will talk about monthly, how monthly downtime can be there, then for monthly, how much total time? 43200. It is 1 by 100. It is 432 minutes, which is 7.2 hours. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
Now, let us now change the scenario. Let it be 99.9%. So, for monthly, let me convert. It will be 43200 multiply 1 by how much it will be? 100, 00, then 99.99. It will be 0.01. Okay, 0.01, which will be like that, 1 by 100. Am I doing something wrong?
No, it should be 0.01 only.
And it will be going to like this.
43.2 minutes.
Yeah, it will be 432 minutes. It will be like this. Okay, and it will be 432 minutes.
No, 4.32 minutes, right?
Oh, yeah, 4.32 minutes, because I am sorry, I am
4.32.
43.2. It will be
No,
43.
4.32.
No. It will be 43.2. Okay, minutes.
No,
Because
because we are
I am
using
because no
0.01,
no
right?
because I am just going for it.
Ah, okay, okay. You are going for 99.9%. Ah, okay.
Only 9. Only for 9%.
43.2 minutes. Okay.
It will be point. Okay. But can you see only 0.9 when I am doing? Earlier it was for 32 minutes, and now it is going to 43.2. If it will be 99.99, then it will be 4.32 minutes. Are you getting my point?
Yeah, it's only 4 minutes per month.
So the downtime is getting highly reduced. But you need to be aware, when you are going for such a high SLA, you need to pay also. Okay,
Yeah.
the commercial stuff will also get increased. Any questions so far?
Let's say if the downtime is being increased automatically, let's say if they have purchased for 99%, and if it is beyond the specific time limit, like beyond 432, let's say it's 500 minutes of downtime per month is being taken, then the consumer will
There
ask
can be
to
a
the cloud, right?
penalty. There can be a penalty on the cloud service provider.
Oh, penalty.
Hmm.
Okay, they will be providing some beverage or some sort of things.
Maybe some kind of some
Extra
more
package.
amount or some services or whatever discount. Okay, it
Oh,
can
okay.
it is bit like how you are compensating
Based
this
on their agreement.
mm, depending upon the agreement, right?
Okay.
Any question?
Uh, One should be okay, this one.
Okay, now let's go ahead. So this is your high availability. Now if I am talking about the second concept, that is scalability. And let us see. So high availability and scalability. Okay. Scalability. What the scalability means? Scalable means adjusting the resources as per the demand. Okay. And in cloud, as I was mentioning you, that if you are increasing with more customers, the customers are more. Okay. Very much people are coming to access your uh, maybe website or whatever. So you can have more resource. But if demand is failing because of some reason, you can just remove that. Okay. So this is something means if there is let us say Diwali season, there is New Year season, and some festive season, you are coming up with some kind of sale. If you are maybe in the sale market, okay, then for sure your scalability is really very important. And in cloud, where you are using consumption based model like pay only for what you use, you can make your resources more. And once this festive season is over, probably the demand will drop off and you can reduce your resources. Okay. So scaling is really very important, and it come into two variants, which is it can be a vertical scaling and it can be a horizontal scaling. Okay. Horizontal and vertical. Vertical means that you are increasing and decreasing the capability of the same resource. Horizontal means you are increasing the number of resource. Okay. So think like this. You have resources. These are resources. Now, if you need to increase like this horizontally, so you are adding some more. When you are adding some more, it is horizontally. But if you are increasing your capability of the same resource, maybe high CPU, more RAM, more something, it will be treated as a vertical. So vertical scaling means let us say you are developing some kind of app, or you are having some seasonal, sale, something like that, and you need more processing power. You could work vertically scale up. Okay, add more CPU, RAM, storage, virtual machines, whatever you. On the other hand, if you want maybe to have more resources with respect to very very high demand, you can scale up. Okay, maybe with more resources, that is horizontal scaling. On the other hand, you can make it less also. Vertical scaling, you can scale down. Similarly, with horizontal scaling, you can scale down. Okay, scaling. Any questions so far?
I understand as vertical is like upgrading our servers, like
Hmm.
increasing the RAM or upgrading the
Hmm.
processor or storage is considered to be as a vertical. In
Hmm.
terms of horizontal is we are just
we are
adding
adding
the
we are
additional
adding more
servers.
servers. We are
We are
adding
adding
more
the
servers.
new we are adding the new servers based on our
Demand.
processor or RAM, whichever it be,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
Okay. Let's say if you are just doing a vertical scalability,
Hmm.
in that case, do we require a downtime since
So
we
it
are
depends.
upgrading the RAM
No,
or we are
I got your point. I
upgrading the
got your
storage,
point.
right? Uh,
But it depends what you are running on the top of that. Let us say there is some application which required a reboot after increasing or scaling up the resources. And this is a custom, application. Then for sure you need. So what I mean to say, not with respect to the underlying hardware, but it also depends upon what you are running on the top of that.
mm, okay. Okay, I understand as let's say
Let us
by
say you are having two apps. This is app one, this is app two.
okay,
For both, you are doing the vertically scaling. Okay.
okay.
Now, app two is designed as such that if there is some change in the CPU or something like that, then it required a reboot. Then for sure you need to have a downtime. But app 2 is bit like that, okay, it will it will just adjust the resources once you do it. You don't require any reboot. So you don't require it. So it's not
Okay,
Microsoft or Azure constraint. It is the constraint of what you are running on the cloud.
application. But in terms of Azure, there is no require like shut down the devices or something for upgrading the vertical scalability in terms of Azure. So it's
Again,
only
it
based on the
depends which
application.
device. Again, it depends which kind of service you are using. Okay.
Service is something like what servers they are running, right?
There are
That's what
there
we
are
are.
multiple of the services in the Azure. In some time, you will be
Oh,
able to understand it. Okay.
okay, okay.
Thousand and thousand of the services. So about what we are talking, it depend upon like share models I talked about. Na? Similarly here, it depend upon the services. We don't have any thumb rule. Okay.
Okay, okay. So for upgrading, it's better to check with Azure tag on this, whether it's being required
There,
from
there
that
are
side.
there are documents available. We can
Oh,
just
okay,
go
okay.
through those documents. Okay. For sure.
Okay, okay.
If there is something, and even for the custom applications, you should have your own developers. You
Yeah.
need to check with your developing team. No,
Yeah.
so this all things like need to be have discussed internally before doing such kind of thing.
Mm.
Okay, let's go ahead. Second is reliability and predictability. So very important terms, which I will say a crucial benefit when you are using your cloud. Okay, reliability and the predictability. So what do you mean by reliability? In general term, when we say reliable, that this person is reliable, which means that if there is some kind of issue with that person, he does not reveal our secrets, right? In terms of cloud platform, we can think about that if there is some kind of failures, it will be quickly recover from those failures, or we can continue to function later on as well. Okay. Now you need to understand if we are using Azure, it's not like that Azure has only one data center and we are putting everything over there. No, there can be endless data centers. Okay. I will be gonna give you how many data centers are there, what are regions, with like these kind of stuff will come maybe tomorrow or maybe in the next class we will be gonna discussing about it. Don't worry. But to cut the long story short, let us say you have your resources on this region or on this data center, and you have the resources on this data center. Because of maybe civil war, because of anything, it's in the Ukraine, let us say, Russia dropped the bombs, and it is unavailable. But your services are running in India, okay, and that is fine. Or maybe it's running in somewhere in Europe, okay. So it depends. So by the cloud, by virtual virtue of decentralized design, I will say it's not a centralized thing, right? It's a decentralized. Like there are multiple of the regions, multiple of the data centers. So your cloud environment itself will automatically shift to a different region for you with no action needed on your part. Are you getting my point? But it again
Uh,
depend upon uh, what to say, the commercial, what you are selecting. Either you are selecting those kind of services or not. If you are selecting, then automatically it will be happening. You need not to do anything.
okay, so you mean in short, if the data center, if the cloud center that is being in the specific location is being shut down, then it will automatically switch to the
We
secondary
cannot say
shutdown.
shutdown. If it is a shutdown, then it's not our problem. It's Azure problem. If they are shutting down their data center, they need to give us the resources from the other data center, right? They will give
Uh,
us.
okay. This is something like
But
a
if there is
disaster or
some kind of
something.
event, maybe some kind of political stuff, maybe natural disaster, a bit like a lot of things are there. Yeah.
Okay. So
Now,
those things, it will be automatically switched to the other location which we have
yes,
subscribed. To which location we need to move. If we have subscribed to
yeah.
that location, it will be automatically switched over there.
That you will understand more in the upcoming
Um,
classes. But I
okay.
need to build up, step by step.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, I understood.
just giving the overview. Okay.
Okay. Okay,
Then
just a query. Yeah, you are saying that in the specific location, the data center, all these rights. So since it is cloud, whether this is also location based or something?
uh-huh. Cloud is for you, not for them. Huh? Azure somewhere is putting their servers.
Yeah.
They are maintaining their data centers.
Oh,
They are giving
the
the power, they are giving the cooling, they are taking the internet links, they are doing everything.
so those are the one that you that will be in their specific countries. They have their
Yes,
own data centers. So
yes,
from there, they will be shifting to the other
yes,
locations. Ah, okay.
yes. So cloud is for you because you are not aware where are those, but they are
Oh, yeah.
aware.
Okay. Okay.
They are. Is this fine?
Ah, yeah, yeah, okay.
Let's go then ahead. Next is predictability. Very important. Very important. Predictability. Now, what the predictability means? It means uh, depending upon my usage, it will let me know how much cost estimation will come. Either it will be more, either it will be less. Okay.
How many?
How much cost will come?
Oh, okay.
Cost.
Okay. Ah,
Okay. So let us say, depending upon the performance, your cost predictability can be highly influenced by the Microsoft Azure architecture framework. So you are maybe scaling vertically or horizontally, depending upon that, your cost can be increased. And for sure, depending upon if you want more performance, auto scaling, load balancing, high availability, security, these kind of services, if I am choosing, then for sure the cost will also increase. So you have the cost predictability, which focus on your prediction of your forecasting the cost, whatever you can spend on your cloud, because it is an OPEX. And OPEX means per month. Okay, reoccurring cost. So you can track your resources, use in real time, monitor the resources, and you can predict the future cost, and you can adjust your resources as per that. There is some kind of price calculator also, which we will be discussing later on, and you can calculate those kind of pricing from there. Any question?
should be okay. So I
Okay.
understand this predictability is like the cost should not be what to say. We
So
can predict.
let us say you
Mhm.
are running something. You are just maybe saying, okay, you are going into a shop, okay, and you like maybe 50 items. You are saying, okay, I want this also, that also, and then in the end, when the bill is coming to you, and you are saying, oh man, I am running out of budget. But to avoid such situations, you can also see that, okay, if I will purchase all of these 50 items, I will have such a cost. I cannot, I have a little budget. I cannot go for them all. Rather than that, what I can do, I can reduce the items. So, bit like that. You can reduce the services or maybe resources, whatever. Okay, depending upon your costs.
Okay.
Hmm. Then there is very simple two stuff is pending. Then we will be gonna cover this at least this module. The third module we can cover tomorrow. So if you see here, describe the benefits of security and governance in the cloud. What does it mean? So cloud features support the governance and compliance, which means if you are using corporate standard in India, there can be a different regulatory requirement in India. But if you are setting up your cloud environment, maybe or some services in the Europe, there can be some new standards. You are doing it in the US, for sure. There will be some different. You are coming in the China. China has some different. Okay. So every country may have their different regulatory requirements. And when you are coming to the cloud, so depending upon your operating model, secure software patches, updates, it will be automatically, comes up over there with respect to that governance and secure. Okay. So this is how cloud, like when you need to spin up something, you need to tell them that where you are spinning it up. Okay. Which availability zone, or probably I should not use those terms, otherwise you will be not able to understand. But the thing is, by establishing a good governance footprint early, you can keep your cloud footprint updated, secure, and well managed. And it should be done beforehand. Okay. Then the second thing is manageability. Manageability, as I told you, in the cloud, like you have a very good manageability options. How? You can manage it through the web portal. You just go to the portal.azure.com. There is a CLI option also. You can go through the API also. You can use the PowerShell. You can use the interactive uh, model also in the Azure. Okay. And for sure, we are aware that there are some kind of monitoring tools what will be going to give us a good view about the health of the resources automatically. We can receive the alerts depending upon like how you want to have over the email, over the SMS, bit like that. Okay, you can deploy the resources very fast with respect to the pre-configured templates available there, which you will be able to see in the upcoming classes. And as I told you, you can scale up, scale down. So management of the cloud and management in the cloud are two things. Okay. So let me write down management of the cloud, which means you are having some resources and you want to have the management of that. So this management is really very simple. Like you have some kind of monitoring stuff. Okay. You have some kind of pricing stuff. You can receive the alert systems. Okay. Log system. You can have a deploy system. You can deploy it very fastly. You can maybe scale up. You can be scale up, scale down, bit like that. Auto scaling it is named. Scale down. But if you need to monitor something in the cloud, then you can use web based, you can use CLI based, you can use some kind of APIs, you can have interactive session, you can have PowerShell, which I will be showing to you, don't worry. But yeah, these are the things like how the manageability in the cloud will be done. Now, if I will go back to here, let me go to the module assessment. Okay. Can you just tell me what is the first one?
Type of scaling involves adding or removing resources, such as virtual machine containers. It should be horizontal scaling.
Very good. Second
What
one?
is characterized as the ability of a system to recover from failures? System characterized as the ability of a system to recover from failure. Um, Scalability should be reliability.
Very good. Predictability is bit like cost predictability and something like
Yeah,
that. Scalability means scale up and scale down.
scale
But
down.
recovering from the failure is reliability.
Mm.
Let's see and hear you. Okay,
Okay.
good to go. So I hope you are getting with couple of the things in the Microsoft, and we have started our first unit, out of which we have already covered two of the modules. Rest of the modules probably we will check tomorrow and then in our upcoming classes. Okay.
Okay. I
So,
just want to check. You mentioned as API, right? Like Web CLI API. So
ah,
what does API means? What is about
okay.
API?
So let us just understand with it. Let us say you have Alexa. Okay. You are saying to Alexa, hey Alexa, please switch off the light from my drawing room. Okay. Alexa in turns talk with your drawing room light and is making it off. Right? From on, it is making it off. Now one program is controlling another program. So these two programs are talking with each other, maybe in XML format, maybe in JSON format, or maybe any format. Huh? So they are talking with each other. So such kind of stuff is named as API when one program is talking with another. Now people are moving from the CLI to the API. So
Hmm.
there are API calls. It can be unified API, it can be REST API. There are a lot of things. Probably uh, those stuff is named as API. So API is bit like maybe you can say think about the scripting. So this comes under Python. If you wanted to understand more about it, probably you can come up with the Python understanding. And in Python, I will be gonna show you how you can leverage Chat GPT or bit like such kind of AI while writing down your scripts. And it is really a very fantastic journey with your any of the automation, I will say. And I started from the scratch, zero level, like you are learning cloud. Same way. Okay. But I hope
Okay.
you got the idea like what API is.
Okay. It is like not directly the user communicates to the end device. It is from between two devices. You will just.
So if you see, it is application programming interface. Okay. And if you want the term, you can see API stands for this. In the context of API, word application refer to any software or function, which means one interface is contacting with different application. Same. Okay. This is from AWS.
Okay. This is an overview. Because I hear many papers nowadays changing to APIM or
Yeah, there are
API.
there are there are law as I am
Uh,
telling you now CLI is not there. The new
yeah.
CLI is the API. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a way to
See,
access the API? It will
uh,
be access. I mean, like CLI, it will be something like viewable in all the devices, or is something like URL, like
think like this.
GUI.
Okay. Because you are curious, let me tell you. Think like this. If I need to take the access of this router or this switch or any
Hmm.
device, I can go through SSH or telnet because of
Yeah.
security reason. I won't go for the telnet or it should be
Yes,
denied.
yes, yes.
SSH through the putty or some kind of you know
Uh,
uh, software, bit
Terminal.
like that. Let us say putty. Okay, I can go with SSH. Similarly, to access this device, I can use SNMP, and I should have some SNMP related tool. If I'm running SNMP version 3, I can do some kind of configuration.
Hmm.
Similarly, I can go through some kind of scripting. Okay, some kind of tool I can use, and here I can. This is somewhat like I am utilizing over the API calls. And if these API calls over the HTTP or HTTPS, these calls are named as REST. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Gautam.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Good to go for today. Have a
Yeah.
great day.
Okay.
Meet tomorrow at same time. Till then, take care of yourself and your family. Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Bye bye.